So you had a good morning. You're going to get featured with a rap artist.
Dude. So I've been making a lot of music lately. I've been
Mm.
really like diving into that. I don't know if you guys know Gary V,
Yeah.
like
Oh
Gary
yeah. Of
V. Yeah.
course, for sure.
I actually got introduced to him a long time ago when I first started Hoop Social and kind of a little thing, and he kind of told me, go for it. Like he was one of those that was
Hmm.
like, if you're going to be doing this type of thing, you're disabled, you want to put your energy into something like a startup or something, like go for it. And so I've been going for everything. And music wise, I just started like I've always wanted to make music. I used to produce music when I was a kid. I used to have all that software. I've been making music and writing notebooks full of stuff.
Yeah.
I've just decided to make it real, and people are enjoying it. And this one artist that had like this kind of song, she's like, I'm looking for a rap feature. It feels like it needs a rap feature. She was asking people to kind of send her stuff, and I got word this morning that mine's the one that she chose.
Wow. Congrats, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty excited.
amazing.
So you ran into Gary Vee. I'll tell you, Gary Vee has been very instrumental in my life. Part of my story was like, 10 plus years ago, I was trying to rebuild myself, like figure out who am I? What are these thoughts that are in my head? Like I didn't understand myself and like why I thought differently than a lot of other people. And then all of a sudden I started reading books. I dove into like Richard Branson, Tony Robbins. And then all of a sudden I just kept on, buying new books. And then I went with Jab, Jab, Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk, and that one was huge. And I fell in love with Gary V during that time frame and his energy, and so yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm a little jealous that you met him. Where did you end up running into him?
It was a conference that they had in, I believe it was near Boston. But it was this conference that we had in Boston for like I went to. It was just for like startups and entrepreneurs and
Okay.
stuff like that. It costs like a little money to go to one of those type of ordeals,
So is that how you
but
view yourself, like an entrepreneur? Like you're just like a dream chaser, a go getter?
that's 100% what I'm doing right now. I worked in sales my entire life. I used to be like in lead generation, cold calls, stuff like that. And just the work life killed me. It destroyed my ankles. It
Mm.
destroyed my body. Like my body wasn't great from basketball anyway, and just full time, 40 hours a week on concrete floors and stuff like that was just not what's gonna work for me. And so after
Bro,
I
let me ask you a question real quick about that because your story sounds so familiar to mine. Like I jumped into sales and then I started doing retail, and but I was always a dreamer. In the back of my head, I was a dreamer. But we got to do what we got to do. We got to make that money. We got to find these jobs. When I was working in retail, I ended up getting to a point because of my damaged ankles, because of all the sports that I played, that I realized that like I could work like a 4 to 5 hour shift maybe. Then right after, like it was almost like a time limit, and then
yeah,
right after that time hit, I knew I was in trouble. Like I knew my
yeah,
ankles were going to be messed up for days. And then that cycle is a deadly cycle to go down. And
exactly. So it's so great to talk to a kindred spirit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have a couple brothers in like the bleeding community, but we just don't talk. We don't get to communicate a whole lot. So I enjoy having somebody that directly understands that, yeah,
yeah.
once you hit that mark, I mean, especially like I was saying, on those concrete floors, I was working 8, 10 hour days, and it just blew them up. I was fighting bleeds in them constantly, constantly,
Hmm.
constantly. My left ankle is fused now. My right ankle probably should be fused, but they say that once you get both of them fused, you start to run into back problems and stuff. And I already kind of have back problems, so
Hmm.
it's just it's my entire life sadly is risk versus reward, and
So
you kind of have to balance everything.
Yeah, and I'm gonna echo into that. So obviously, I'm a physician. I have severe hemophilia. My ankles are tore up. I mean, I'm wearing ankle braces,
Mm.
like bad ankle braces. They said, "Hey, your ankle needs to be fused." I said, "No, we're not fusing it." And so, my dad's a carpenter. So, growing up, like I tried as far as I could go. But man, bleeds just like in my ankles, shoulders, elbows. So like, hey,
but
we both tried
what's
it.
crazy is all three of us here, I can just tell like we have like the same energy, and I can just feel it. And I have felt it already with you, Ori. I mean, we've been connecting a little bit on social media, and we just have this good vibe of just like, like we've had these setbacks and this adversity, but now we are who we are because of that. And we're doing some big shit, dude. Like we're on our entrepreneurial journey. Dr. Joe's been crushing his businesses and stuff. I'm getting ready to jump on board. I'm trying to follow suit with him, and you're doing your thing. So it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot to learn here for the people that are listening, and that because I do have a lot of friends in the community who are struggling, and they have these setbacks, and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So Like, what would you say to those guys that just they can't really see the light, and maybe they just have stopped living to their fullest and dreaming to their fullest?
See, that's tough because yeah, as a youth, I understand every single feeling that they're having. I don't want to be that guy that makes it a competition about whose feelings are worse. But we do understand where they're coming from when you hit those dark tunnels. I've been in some dark places, some really dark places, places that I wouldn't like to talk about on a podcast, but dark places. And I think the way you get out is, for me, number one is surrounding yourself with empaths. I think is super important. Empathy can go a long way when you're having a depression battle or when you're battling depression. I think empathy is super important. Have people that are around you that are trying to understand you rather than
Mm-hmm.
just kind of giving you common tropes and like, oh, just get over it stuff. You know what I mean? People that can give you that hug on you that your brain needs sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I follow a kind of a life lesson, or I guess one of those
Like a
types
mantra
of
or some sort.
mantra. There we go, a
Mantra, yeah.
mantra I got. I follow that kind of I've done for a while, and I teach my kids. And it's essentially basically that the way that life is, you're gonna find things that are your favorite stuff. You're gonna find things that you really like, things that you really like to do, your passions. You're gonna find a lot of that throughout your life, and you're gonna find what makes you grow and what helps your heart and yada yada. But to me, it's always been super fascinating that your favorite thing is still out there. There are so many things to love, to enjoy, to do in this life, so many things that you don't even think about. The billions of ways to choose your purpose and live your life that you haven't even considered. Your unicorn is out there.
Yeah.
Statistically, probably even not your favorite thing yet. Your favorite thing is probably still out there. The thing that you're passionate about might be still out there. Keep searching. Don't end the search. I feel like it's important to always be like, there are beautiful things in this life that maybe I just haven't encountered yet. And if you keep that kind of level of optimism, I find that it kind of helps the foundation for everything else.
I love that, man. That was really powerful.
Man,
I mean, just changing so it's a mindset thing, just reshaping the way that you're perceiving things and what you're going through. I love that a lot, man. That was really powerful.
Well, you're welcome. To me, like I said, it's important to teach my children that because
Hmm.
I think that we all go through depression as human beings. We all see a lot of dark times and a lot of bad times and a lot of things that can really make us feel, like we want to end it all.
Yeah.
Or, I know a lot of hemophiliacs that have battled with fatalism and battled with, those types of thoughts. And we've
Hmm.
battled with those types of thoughts. But if you can view life with a sense of optimism. I call myself an optimistic nihilist is the appropriate term. But if you can put that optimism with it, I find that it enables you to just be positive in moments that otherwise wouldn't allow you to be, and gives you kind of a layer of resilience that
Yeah.
maybe is your baseline.
Yeah.
At the very least, I can hold on to this.
Yeah. I feel like it's important to have something that you're waking up to, like you're excited to wake up for. And when you lose that, when you're going through the pain, the setbacks, and you wake up every day and there's not that, you don't have that thing that you're striving for, a goal or something. It doesn't have to be a goal. It could be a vacation. It could be smaller things, just like
It
something
could,
you get up to get excited about something.
it could be a cup of coffee.
yeah,
That too. Yeah.
It could be anything. It's the difference between waking up that morning and choosing not to. And I think as hemophiliacs and as severe hemophiliacs, we've dealt with the fact that there are a lot of days where you just don't want to. You don't want to get out of that bed. You don't want to move. You would rather, the pain win. And you just can't let it. In order to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah.
it's just a simple thing.
My dad, growing up in elementary school, I'm sure every one of us, we didn't go to school. We were missing school. We had bleeds. We were on crutches. And my dad always said, hey, like, you have hemophilia, but that doesn't define you. And also, you're a molesky. So, my family's from Pennsylvania. Now we're in Missouri, but he's like, you're a molesky. So, you're going to show up on time, and you're going to learn today. And I was like, yeah, like, wait a minute. I have this bleeding disorder, but I'm also Joe Molesky. Like, I represent my family, and like I represent, hey, I'm going to be on time. I actually, in grade school, I didn't want people to know I had it. I wanted to be an A student. I wanted to be on time. Like, I wanted to get my homework in. And granted, I was bullied and everything because of my disorder, but I just wanted to fit in, And so I think a lot of hemophiliacs, like, they should be like, who am I first versus this thing that is trying to control you, which is hemophilia. Like, who am I first? And it sounds like for you, you're a basketball player. You are, a guy that creates amazing content. You have all these other
Music,
things
yeah.
that you are, and hemophilia is just one thing. Like, you're a lot of things, and so I feel like hemophilia shouldn't get stuck in the rut. Like,
But I feel
being
like your
out the
part of
men,
your
yeah,
story too, or sorry to cut you off, Dr. Joe, was that that wasn't always part of your journey. That you did something throughout your journey where you took back control over your life.
Mm.
So can you talk about that a little bit? Like, how were you able
That's
to like be like, you know what, I'm in control. I'm going to rewrite my story the way that I want to do it.
yeah. To be honest, if I'm not in control, I'll first and foremost throw that out there. I find that as a hemophiliac, and given sadly my past experiences all in totality, I know that things can change on a dime, and I know that I could be very unhealthy very quickly and without knowing it. I can be in the hospital for 5 days, 6 days, and I didn't know I had a bleed creeping. There's just so many ways that like we just can't. So for me, it's important to, I guess, finally own hemophilia and not let it own me,
Hmm.
because I was very similar to like what you're saying, Dr. Joseph there. I didn't want people to know I had hemophilia. I was very embarrassed. I was, you can ask my mother, and I'm ashamed of it now. But I was embarrassed when people would, talk about my disorder. I didn't like people, like the teachers knowing. I didn't want students knowing. I wanted to play varsity basketball. I want to be a basketball player. I want to be in the NBA. As crazy as a dream it sounds now as a 36-year-old, as a 15-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever, that was my goal. And hemophilia was something that I just tried to pretend I didn't have, for lack of a better way of putting it, because I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to play basketball, and I wanted to go far with that dream. And I felt like if people knew I had hemophilia, I was always going to be given kind of like a cushion or a crutch, or I was going to be given something extra.
yeah,
And I didn't want that. It felt like pity. It felt like something that made me different. And to me now, obviously, that sounds so silly, because if you own this thing and you advocate for this thing, we have a unique responsibility
mhm,
to show that, yeah, this disorder doesn't have to own you. You can have it, and it could be a part of you, but it does not define you by any stretch of the imagination. And while you have this disease, why not spread the word and let
yeah,
people know, they're not alone, first and foremost. And then secondly, that, we're just as tough as you. Maybe we're tougher. We're
yeah,
trying to get through life, and it's hard for us to wake up every morning. Don't pity us. I don't need your
yeah,
pity. I don't need your crutch. I sometimes might need a hand when my body fails me, but my mind is going to give you everything it's got every time. That's important to me. And now owning hemophilia and advocating for hemophilia and telling hemophiliacs and young guys, follow your dreams. Don't sit back. Don't feel like this has to be, you don't have to be that guy. You don't have to be hurt, sick, missing school guy all the time that feels really bad about his life. You can be tough, strong advocate that's telling people, hey, I've got this disorder, but I'm going to live my life just as well as you do.
yeah. It's done a lot for me, especially going through med school and going through it all. Like I said, I didn't want a crutch. I didn't want. We can give you a special classroom to take your test because you're on crutches or you can't walk. I was like, no, I don't need that. Like, I don't need pity. I don't. That's why I kind of didn't want people to know. And I just kept it to myself. Went through, and I love basketball too enough that played in high school. I had two shoulder surgeries. I mean, now I just watch a basketball. Basketball is near and dear to my heart. Found out, yeah, couldn't do it. Beat me up. Couldn't do it. But yeah, man, I mean, I really do think showing kids that, like, we have a physician, we have a guy that's content creation, we have a guy that is creating his own clothing line. Like, go get your dreams. Like Gary Vee said, like, just go get them. Like, we're actually stronger than we think. This bleeding disorder really has catapulted us, whether we like it or not, to be stronger.
Yes, it's a tool. It's a tool. if you view hemophilia as what it's done for all three of us, it's given us a layer of resilience that I think the average Joe Blow just can't fathom. And it's not because they're ignorant or they're idiots. I mean, it's because they're ignorant. They don't understand the level of pain that can exist on a daily basis, and a
Yeah.
person can still get their shit done. For
Yeah.
lack of a better
Yep.
way of putting it.
I mean, uh, LA, myself, I don't, so I'm 38, you're 36. LA, you're
I'm
37, right?
37.
Yeah. So we're all in that generation, the 80s generation. And so we were talking about on a previous podcast, like, the new developments where you're doing like a subcutaneous shot, the needle's really small, and I'm a factor guy, so I do factor. I don't know about you, whether you want to share or not, but just seeing like the generations, like my brother's 25 and he has severe hemophilia. I'm 38, we're 13 years apart. So he's on factor, but looking at like the new advancements, like there's like a new product called like Alhemo that's injected daily. That's got a needle that's super small. You don't have to find a vein. It's just interesting to see like where it's going.
100%. I mean, to me, like I take two medications. I'll share. I take a medication called Alprolix, which is a preventative weekly medication, and
Yeah,
then as needed, I take Benefix to
yeah,
if I have any breakthrough bleeds.
Factor 9, brother.
Yes, indeed, exactly. And overall, I mean, it's done tremendous wonders in the sense that like I don't get bleeds nearly as often as I used to. I have a layer of confidence that I never had in my youth. It's obviously not foolproof. I still get plenty of breakthroughs. We all know that. We get our micro bleeds, we get our breakthrough bleeds. It doesn't remedy pain. But
yeah,
at the very least, I feel like because I don't get nearly as many bleeds as I used to in my youth, I just feel overall just more confident,
yeah.
and I feel like that is a testament to the new stuff, because I remember feeling sometimes like I knew I was getting a bleed. I knew I was getting a bleed. And Alprolix kind of makes it sometimes where like when you think you're getting a bleed, oh wait, I already got that
You're
layer.
good.
I can
Yeah.
kind of heal like a regular person.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome with the new advancements. I mean, we used to inject these huge 60C syringes, and like those are days are like we just talk about that. It's so different now.
It's weird. And see, I've had it hit me 4 times. The hemophilia. My uncle has it. He was the first generation. I
Mm.
have it. My younger cousin has it, and then my youngest cousin has it. So it's struck us 4 times. And the dramatic difference between my uncle's experience, my experience, and then my younger cousin's experience, just the three generations just there, is just so dramatic, because my uncle was still dealing with things like the AIDS epidemics and the hepatitis C stuff, and the sharing of needles, and a lot of the stuff that was a little more transfusions, blood transfusions, stuff like that our generation can't quite fathom yet, because we've at least had an artificial medicine. So it's interesting to see just how advanced things are getting, and it gets me excited. I'm really excited for the youth,
Yeah.
because they're not going to have to face it the same way we did. They're not going to have to take the same bumps and bruises that we did, and maybe they might be a little less tough, but they're certainly going to be a lot more happy.
I have a
Yeah,
question for you though, just because you know, uh, I've worked in the community for a long time, with lots of different companies. I've done lots of different events, and it seems like we really needed a lot of resources and community and all this stuff. And when I was growing up, it just seemed like it meant a lot. And I'm just talking out loud right now because, I've built a community on social media and I'm meeting lots of new kids and new people. And it's almost like they aren't even coming close to the same amount of struggles and pain and burdens and setbacks and adversities. And it's like, they're like completely different than us.
yeah.
And it's like, like we're advocating because like we just like we don't want anyone to ever suffer and go through what we went through as kids. And I still think that we're needed. I feel a little less needed. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I feel a little less needed. Let me just fucking just say it. Okay. But I'm still going to stay on my advocacy journey because I feel like there's avenues where we can still support in lots of other ways. But what do you
There's
think? I mean, are they going to get too healthy now? I mean, it's like,
It's interesting because I feel like there's going to be a strange, change, because
mm,
once you have people starting to not have, a lot of these disorders in general, some of these things like hemophilia and things not affecting them the way that they affected us because of these new medical advancements, it does make me wonder, like a catch 22. There's this. like we were talking, there's a certain level of resilience we gain from our journey. There's a certain level of it created us and turned us into what we are. And I think that as a group, we're proud of the people that we are because of our journey. These guys aren't going to have to face that same journey,
So I'm saying we
and
might be the last of the the
right,
resilient ones.
exactly.
Like
The last of the
they're gonna
Mohicans,
be
like
like, "What the hell are you
it's
guys
just
talking about? Like you guys are fucking weird." Like,
yeah, and
you know.
it's strange to me because like my first near death experience, I was 5 years old. I was 5 years old, and I don't know about you guys, but I've had a handful of coming very close.
Yeah, you said like 6 or 7 near
6 or
death
7, that
experiences.
was
Like
absolutely.
crazy.
And my first one was, yes, 5 years old. That was kind of my first dealings with a lot of things like pain medication, stuff like that. This is gonna be a funny story now that's on the internet, but I
Yeah.
was pretending to be a Power Ranger. I was 5 years old, pretending to be a Power Ranger in
We've
a
all
house
been
full
there,
of kids.
brother. Come on.
You
What
guys
color?
get
Which
it.
one? Which
You're
one
my
though?
generation.
The green, the red, the pink.
The
Which one
green.
you?
Tommy's
Okay,
my guy. Tommy's
okay.
my
I'm just
rest in
kidding.
peace.
Tommy.
Tommy's my guy. But okay, yeah, never mind. I got a blue sweater.
He's like, let me put my Power Ranger mask on
Let's
real quick.
go.
Like,
You guys are gonna judge me.
hey, see,
Oh, there it is.
I got matching Christmas sweaters with my wife. She's the pink one. I got the green one.
I'm judging you in a good way. I
Yeah,
want one.
right. I told you,
Yeah.
follow your passions all the way
I
through.
know.
Every nerddom. I tell
You
people
weren't kidding. You weren't kidding.
be as
No.
big a nerd as possible. But yeah, so my first experience, 5 years old, I was a Power Ranger. I was jumping from a bed to a chair. I missed the chair. I fell head first. I actually still have the scar and the dent in my skull. I fell hard, and I went to a hospital in my local hometown. I won't obviously share names, and they told me to go home, put ice on it, and it might take care of itself. That we could just kind of wait on it a little bit, which was obviously my mother was like, that seems kind of stupid. That doesn't seem like a great idea. So she took me to the next hospital in the big city.
Mhm.
Big city. We're in Maine, city, villa,
Yeah.
whatever you guys would consider it. And they immediately had to rush me into surgery. I was bleeding so much into
Mhm.
my brain that they had to release the pressure. And I remember my head hurting. I remember going to the hospital. I remember my mother being upset. I remember waking up with a tube in my head, just a little, and these are, some of my first memories just as a human being in general. You know what I mean? 5 years old. I had my sixth birthday in the hospital. I was in there for, a substantial period of time. And to me, that's one of those things that always molded me because I feel like I had a unique view on life from a very early age. And I feel like I always have because of some of these experiences of getting close to a certain level of am I going to make it through this? Am I going to be on the other side?
Yeah.
I
When's your
feel like
time happening? Did you ever grow up? Sorry to interrupt you. Like,
no, no,
I
no,
have
you're
to
good.
know this. I have to know this. Like, growing up, I always felt like I had this visualization of like almost like a countdown or like a timer or like, I don't know, like my time was limited. I always felt like a limited time. I never felt like I was even going to be 37 years old.
Yeah,
Um,
that's I
it's
feel
weird.
like it hits me kind of hard that you say that. I mean, I don't want to get emotional, but that's exactly. I didn't think I was going to be here. I'm 30. I know people think that that's silly, but I apologize.
You're good, brother.
Given the experiences that I've been through, I just didn't see it coming. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm here. I'm happy of the fact that I'm here. But if you had asked me 5, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
even, this wasn't always the expectation. I feel like I had to set a timer. It seems almost like a perfect word. Like it just felt like my time was always, you know, held in someone else's hands, not my own. Like and it
Mhm.
was just going to be a short period. Like I had this expectation that I might not reach 30
Mhm.
at a young age. I already had that
And you
expectation.
made decisions probably in your life based off of that thought. Cause that's what
Yeah,
I made stupid choices because I was like, I'm thinking long
exactly.
term. I don't give a fuck about my retirement plan or my savings account. I'm living life right now because I ain't making it.
That's
But we're
it.
here, brother. We're here. We got to make some changes.
Feel like hemophilia gave us kind of a YOLO attitude,
Mm-hmm.
where you only live once, and that kind of like you have to enjoy every moment and every experience a little more fulfilled because yeah, like our health can change so quickly. Why not have that mentality sometimes?
I
And
mean,
I think as positive as that mentality can be, sometimes, like you said, the brash decisions that can come from it aren't necessarily healthy.
yeah, I mean, growing up, I was 6 months old. I had bleeding in my brain, and I didn't have to have surgery. But they're like, man, if he was going to be a student, he's probably going to be a C student. And now I'm a physician, went through medical school, and
Hell yeah,
yeah,
man.
so
Hell yeah.
yeah, so yeah, and then I got meningitis, which they're like, you should never do a spinal tap on a hemophiliac. Well, I had two because that can paralyze you. So I had bacteria in my blood that was causing me to be septic. I mean, I had jumped off a chair and I hit my head on my grandparents had like an RV and there was
Mhm.
a stair and I nailed my head against that was when I was like 8 years old. So like head injuries, shoulder surgeries, ankles are destroyed. So I feel like us 30-year-olds, we've been through similar things.
That's it. Like we're 30, but we've got like 50 years of damage on here.
Yeah, I mean, I have severe arthritis in my ankles. Just saw an orthopedic surgeon recommended fusion, and I was like, no, I'm gonna put braces on. And interesting enough, the weight loss shots, the GLP-1s, they're gonna be approved for anti-inflammatory purposes for joints. So I started doing that at a low dose, and like my ankle pain, especially my right ankle, is like half.
Really?
So yeah, so it's like, I mean, it's better than taking pain meds or a bunch of ibuprofen that's not recommended. I don't know. I just like advancements in medicine are really encouraging.
Yeah, that's a big deal because I mean, for me, and I know one of these. Sorry, I keep saying for me, and I'm not used to talking to like two other hemophiliacs at the same time,
Yeah.
so I apologize.
Yeah.
I should for us,
For
you
us.
know, pain relief and chasing that unicorn is such a difficult game. That's the one that I probably had some of the biggest battles with
Mhm.
is pain relief and chasing pain relief because the layer of exhaustion that just adds to everything. It turns going to the mailbox into a marathon. It turns things into just simple things into just dramatic things, and chasing, yeah, that with medical things, tools that we have now has been super difficult. I've gone through I swear that when I go to the physician and see my PCP, they open up a menu and they're like, all right, which one are we trying today? And
Mm.
it's just all these different types of stuff. And then I've tried so many. I've had withdrawals from a lot. I've had battles with a few. I've had things that I'm not proud of with a few. You know what I mean? Like we've all taken that extra pill that we probably shouldn't have. There's a lot of that. And nowadays, I feel proud of the fact that despite all of that, I'm still here
Mm.
pushing hard for my children,
Yeah.
living my life, following my passions, and I've made it through those choices and pain, at the end of the day, despite the fact that it kind of holds on, it's kind of become like a familiar hold on. So like,
Yeah.
like this is me. That pain is me. And one day obviously I hope to relieve it more and I will continue to fight and chase that unicorn. But I would choose pain and coherence and high functionality
Yeah.
over not feeling pain and my children don't have a father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
there's
mean,
also it's risk reward everywhere you look.
me and LA, we both have 4 kids. We both have like he has like a 2 or 3 week old. I have a month old baby. So all my kids are like under the age of 5. LA's has some older kids, but I mean I couldn't carry my daughters around. It was just my ankles I couldn't. I was getting bleeds. So that's why I had to go into the orthopedic surgery and got braces and I'm doing all this other stuff for pain relief. But I was like, no, I have these kids to raise. Like I gotta carry them, carry car seats. Like I don't care what I have. Like I gotta power through this. Like I'm a dad, man. That's number one. I'm a dad. I don't know. It's awesome that we've all shared in the fatherhood journey, and I feel like hemophilia has only made us stronger.
I think
Yeah.
that's important.
It's wild. I mean, I just want to say, I'm the host of this show, and you've been giving me chills the entire time when you're speaking, Ori. It's your ability to articulate exactly how I'm feeling, and in a way that I can't
Familiar.
even do it. How I can't even do it sometimes it's been wild, man. So I just want to say thank you for joining us on the show, man.
Not
It's
not a
super
problem.
powerful, man.
It's right back at you guys. Like I appreciate number one having some other brothers to talk to that can relate. I mean, I
Yeah.
know one of the biggest burdens of a hemophiliac sometimes, and especially being a hemophiliac kind of here in Maine is loneliness. I was lucky to have my uncle had it, so I kind of had like a blueprint to follow. So,
Mhm.
but I can see how other hemophiliacs can get super lonely because I felt it, and I have a close family, and I have people around me, and I felt
Mm.
super lonely. So I understand that people are going to feel that way in other scenarios, and I think it's important. You mentioned, maybe we might have to do this as much for the children, but we're always going to have to do this for the guys our age.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
guys our age that that don't talk up, and the guys our age that aren't speaking up for themselves, they're always going to need us to advocate for them because they need that voice. If they can't find it on their own, I think hearing people talk about it and going, just having that moment, like, oh man, I
Yeah.
get that. I get
Yeah. And I wanted
And,
you
and
guys to know that these episodes are powerful, and I don't think people, the reason why I'm so passionate, and the reason why I've been advocating for so many years, the reason why I put myself on social media, the reason why I make myself make stupid videos sometimes is because not everyone gets to see what I get to see behind closed doors. And that is all the private messages that I get from new parents. I mean, I'm looking at, let me just go to my TikTok like real quick and let's see, even
Getting a
okay.
lot of people.
So right here. So hey, your podcast is truly so helpful. My son is autistic and has severe hemophilia. I infuse him at home, but he's got so much medical trauma. He was diagnosed with PTSD. He's 4. I love listening to the other stories because it's given me hope. I've been crying every day about this disease since he was diagnosed. The stories you're sharing give me hope for my son's future. Thank you for doing this. So yes,
Yeah.
we did talk a little bit about some people. Maybe it's not making that, but man, this is doing
It's
something. And when you get messages like that, I don't care if it's just one,
Yes,
but it's not.
exactly.
It's hundreds now. But this is one.
One,
That's why I get up and I do what the hell I'm doing, dude. And
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say
kudos.
this. Speaking of listening and voices, Ori, tell us a little bit about your like music. LA was like, yeah, I was
I
listening
was
to
talking up,
it.
dude. I said no for real. Yeah, I was listening in the gym and I loved it, dude. I got a killer workout with
So,
it.
Oh,
but real quick, your music, like I want to listen to your music because I can connect with that. Like, man, that's a hemophiliac's work. Like, I don't know,
Share
like
your music with Dr.
we
Joe on
need to hear
Facebook.
it, dude.
I
He's
will,
got some
dude.
good
That
songs.
that thank you. First and foremost, thank you for validating me because that's a lot of stuff that just like comes exactly from like I was saying, like my notebooks and these things that I did and all this beat producing when I was younger. Like it's just all like this cumulative, all the stuff I've been through, the pain, the hemophilia life, the dark moments, the happy moments. I have some stuff where I get to talk about my wife and how important she's been in my
Yeah.
journey. And how supportive she is. Like to me, like I produce every beat. Every single word is me. The vocals are AI. You could tell that the vocals are AI vocals. I had them sing that part. That is it. Every touch of this is mine, and it's getting a message out there. I think to people
Mhm.
that you can hear me, and that was important to me.
The words are what made it powerful when I was listening to it. It's the words with it. I love it,
That it,
dude.
and that makes me feel really good inside
Hmm.
because that was exactly my goal. Like whether a single person listened to this or not,
Hmm.
it has been super cathartic to just have my words out there and just hear them and go like, you know what, like I can make this stuff and make it sound coherent. And it's like, geez, maybe I do got a knack for this type of thing, producing stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I do follow this dream that I used to have. Like maybe why not? Why
Yeah.
not?
I say this, LA.
Hmm.
I have a thought. So we have these events that we're gonna do every quarter
Hmm.
with Rise. What about getting your beats and putting them on top of our videos that we do for these events? And then it can be like just a mesh of we're shooting hemophiliacs, we're listening to hemophiliacs. Like, I don't know. I think there could be some collaboration here.
Yeah, I don't know if you
That's not
saw
awful.
Ori,
Like
but we've been doing like mentorship. We created like a mentorship program event, and we did our first one in Texas, where it was based around fitness for that one in particular. But we really believe in trying to bring some core leaders together and inspire people to chase their dreams, like you were saying, but not to just go in there and have one little conversation, one little inspirational talk, like follow up and like, hey, let's build a real relationship with some of these younger guys. Like, what are your dreams? Because you know what, guys, success leaves clues. Okay, we're all successful in our own ways, and those clues are important. And if you can have that right mentor in your life to pass those on to you, there's a blueprint to success. But success is not a mystery. It doesn't belong to just one person. Everyone deserves success. Everyone has an opportunity to achieve success. And once there's a quote that says, if you want to understand the road ahead, ask those coming back. So we're the hemophiliacs. We're the ones coming back
mhm.
from that road. So I just want to create this, continue working on this program and try to help this younger generation overcome any setbacks they might have and give them the blueprint to success.
And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that's number one of the reasons why I want to get a hold of you and try to get a hold of this and be a part of this in any way, shape, or form. Because number one, I enjoy what you guys do, the content. But most importantly, yeah, like I looked at you, LA, and I saw a guy that inspired me, brought re-inspired me. I looked at you and I was like, holy crap, this is a severe B that's a
Mm-hmm.
weightlifter and that does all this. It looks like that. So like I was like, holy smokes. What kind of limitations am I putting on myself? You know, I would just, I have a hard enough time getting to the gym after playing basketball all those years. And I was just like, part of that was because I just didn't want to put myself through lots of bleeds and stuff. And a lot of the pain that could have come from like going to the gym all the time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we're like,
Yeah.
do I really like you always have to balance the weight between physical therapy and
Hmm.
therapy that hurts. You know what I mean? There's always like that in between you got to kind of find where it's like, ooh, that was a good workout that didn't hurt me, you
Hmm.
know? And I just watching you and what you're capable of and what you've been capable of in your
Hmm.
life, like just yeah, like just
Thank you, man.
reinvigorates me,
Yeah.
man. It reinvigorates me because it's like,
Yeah. It was
yeah,
almost like every day, like when I was chasing that goal in the beginning, I did it because I chose bodybuilding not because I was in love with the sport. It was a game plan of how do I make the biggest impact? How do I make so much noise that it's impossible to ignore me? And I was like, the physique. If I can change my physique and turn it in, make myself look like a superhero, how could you ignore me? My voice needs to be heard. I'm going to be heard. But that journey was hard because every day I woke up, I had to choose the face to put myself through pain. I didn't. I could have been like, oh, I'm going to chill on the couch. I'm going to do everything to stay away from it. I fought it. I looked at dead in the eyes every single day and said, bring it every day. And then
Man, that's a
now,
warrior.
like
he's
what
a
you guys are
warrior,
saying, now pain's like, now me and Pain, we're like best friends,
yeah.
like it's just like what we do.
Yeah.
Just hang out on the weekends,
Yeah, exactly. How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
right? You
Oh.
want to drink?
Oh, what a
Come on.
great podcast, man. I mean, this is awesome. This is awesome. Happy, Ori, you jumped on the show, man. We're so happy to
Yeah,
hear from you, and we'll be in touch, man.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
We're right under an hour after editing. It'll be perfect, man. So I'm super excited. I'm going to work on this today, and thank you so much, Ori, for joining us today. Let's stay in touch and send Dr. Joe your music, man. I want to hear his
Yes, I want to
feedback
listen
too.
to it, man.
yes, yes. If you don't follow me on Facebook and TikTok, my Hoop Social.
Hoop
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 Social.
Social
Social.
is me. We try to make it as easy as possible. Hoop Social. So
Hoop
yeah, I
Social.
appreciate you guys tremendously. This has been a great experience. I really enjoy talking to just kindred spirits, and I can
Yeah.
tell you guys are that. So that really that boosts my dopamine even more today.
That's awesome.
Well,
Let's stay in touch, guys, because we're doing some amazing things in the community, and we need more leaders. So there's opportunities for us to connect even further and do things beyond this. So let's
Hell
stay
yeah,
connected. All right, gentlemen. Have a good
awesome.
cheers,
day, man.
guys.
Have a
See you
See
great
ya.
one,
later.
guys. Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
Bye.
See ya.